USL Championship returns to Hartford, Connecticut at Dillon Stadium, where we welcome you to this edition of the USL presented by Trinity Health. Alongside Lloyd Sam, I'm Spencer Siegel, and we're happy to have you along for the home opener for the Hartford Athletic tonight. And Lloyd, this is a team that is off to an excellent start under a new regime. 2 wins in their first 2 games under the 31-year-old manager, Harry Watling.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with them, especially in this last game against Miami FC. Great result on the road. It's really let the whole league know that they mean business.
You see the 3-2 victory here against Red Bulls 2. That was their opening matchup. Then a 1-0 win over Miami FC. Lloyd, your former team. And how about Preston Tabort Itaka? You had a beautiful back heel flick here from Danny Barrera. Tabort Itaka scores the game-winning goal in a 1-0 win.
What a great goal that was. He looks electric, and I can't wait to see him today.
But one of the other players that we're watching out for is Mr. Hartford Athletic, Danny Barrera, all-time leader in appearances, assists. He's the only player that was on this team in its inaugural season 2 years ago, and he returns as an outright number 10.
Danny Barrera, he's a club legend already. He's been there 3 years. He's the only mainstay, and he really brings leadership.
And there's another player that was a mainstay for the first 2 years, but now is on the other side of the pitch. That's Alex Dixon. Led Hartford in goals last year, plays up front, but it's a bit of a revenge game for him this year.
Yeah, he'll be looking to slow his old team down. I'm sure like this is a game he had penned in from early, and he'll look to score a goal against his old team.
Well, that's what's in store for you. You better not go anywhere because it's opening night at Dillon Stadium, and we're happy to bring it to you. Don't go anywhere. Kickoff on the other side.
We don't just protect things, we help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
At Dillon Stadium, ready for kickoff. The USL Championship presented by Trinity Health. And as we get you ready for kickoff, we need to know who's on the pitch tonight. So let's start with the home side. Hartford Athletic and their 11. Lloyd, Preston Tabort Itaka was so electric. We don't really even know which wing he'll play, maybe a little bit of both.
I just can't wait to see him coming on 45 minutes. It was a great showing, so let's see what he's got with a full game.
Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. and Bradford Jamison up top as well. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, coming off of a 3-0 thumping against Tampa Bay, They really need to change things up, get right back on the right track. How do they do that?
I mean, we got to see a lot from Cicerone today, the number 10. Him and Forbes, I'm expecting a lot from them for creativity to get goals.
Yeah, Russell Cicerone did not feature much in the loss against Tampa Bay. We thank all of our Business Alliance members. Tonight's Business Alliance members of the match are Excel International and Senvio. And Dillon Stadium sees soccer for the first time in 2021. Pittsburgh in the yellow and Hartford in what is now their traditional green and blue home jerseys. Lloyd, Sam, we can expect what some would call a chess match, what others might call a quick start out of the gate. Pittsburgh already into the box. Both of these teams are looking to attack, and we talked to Harry Watling and Bob Lilly this week. They both expect a competitive match. Harry Watling is the new man in town, 31 years old, and he's the youngest coach in the USL. He comes from an outstanding line of different academies from London, Chelsea, Millwall, West Ham. Now he's got a shot to coach up a professional side like Hartford.
It's a great story. I really wondered, like, how a guy in an academy in London gets to be the head coach at Hartford. So it was great to hear how he got over here. And he started so great. He started so great. 2 wins, one against Miami FC on the road. Huge win.
Well, Bob Lilly is no stranger to the USL. This is his 20th season as a head coach in the United States. He's made the playoffs in his first 19 seasons, looking to make it 20 out of 20. But Lloyd, these two teams finished 1 and 2 in Group F last year, and Hartford is actually the team that Pittsburgh is chasing, despite Pittsburgh having the best goal differential in the league.
These two, they had a real rivalry last year. The differential last year was down to Pittsburgh's defense.
Look out! That one nearly got away from Jeff Caldwell. It's not cleared quite yet. It would have been a disastrous start.
So early in the game, guys look a bit nervy.
Here's Cicerone, who you mentioned, on the ball, tries to slip in Forbes, who does get to it. No, he doesn't. It trickled over the byline and is out for a goal kick.
I like Pittsburgh's start already. They look like they're hungry. That's how you have to be after a 3-0 loss. They went on the road, and I'm sure all week in training it's been all about getting it back right. So I'm not surprised to see them pressing.
That was Alex Dixon, who almost tracked down that back pass. Here's Barrera. This is the man we spoke of, Preston Tabortataka. Already has defenders on skates.
Yeah, he had 3 yellow shirts around him already. It looks like they doubled and tripled up on him there.
Here is Bradford Jameson, whose long-range effort falls safely into the midriff of Danny Vitiello, who was last year's Golden Glove winner. Despite playing only 8 games, came in about halfway through the season for Pittsburgh. He allowed 4 goals in those 8 games, Vitiello.
I mean, to your point about how many goals they conceded, to go to the Rowdies and letting 3 goals, that's got to really hit that team. To concede 10 goals in the whole season and to concede 3 in 1 game. I'm sure there were some harsh words after that game.
How great is it to have fans back? Dillon Stadium had fans last year, but the capacity has increased.
Amazing to have fans back. I'm literally just enjoying the atmosphere right now, just hearing the drums and the fans. We haven't had this for a while, so we gotta enjoy it now that it's back.
Will be a free kick, no yellow card issued on the foul, as Canardo Forbes, who is the USL's all-time assist leader, stands over the ball looking to deliver some service into the box.
An opportunity to really put them under pressure here early in the game.
Might be a little too far out and too wide for a shot. Forbes does have options.
Those fans are up for it.
Forbes floats it towards the back post. It does meet a Pittsburgh head, but it sails harmlessly over the bar, out of play. Hartford Athletic would like to extend a thank you to our title partner, Trinity Health of New England, and a special thank you to all of the healthcare workers, first responders, and everyone who has worked tirelessly and selflessly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Bob Lilly's side emphasized establishing more possession after their 3-0 defeat to the Rowdies. They did not have much of the ball in that loss, which is not like them. Rowdies had 63% of the possession.
Spence, I have to add that going to the Rowdies, it's a tough place to go. We have to remember that it's not the best result, but tough place to go.
Al Lang Stadium was to be the site of last year's USL Championship final against Phoenix. Instead, that game canceled due to the pandemic, and tonight on ESPN2 you'll see those two teams meet in the would-be final.
On a personal level, I actually had to play against that team 4 times last season.
Yeah, with Miami.
The Tampa Bay Rowdies, right? Neil Collins has done a great job over there, so there's no shame losing your first game on the road to Tampa Bay Rowdies, but they'll want to get it right now in this game.
And both of these teams will be familiar with Tampa Bay this season. Hartford's service. Once again, it's Vitiello. The standings have been reshuffled. Both of these teams played in Group F last year. They're now in the Atlantic Division, where there are 8 teams, including Tampa Bay. And 2 other playoff teams from last year as well join them, Charleston and Charlotte.
Charleston's not an easy place to go either.
Here's Bradford Jamieson. Could not get it around McKeel Williams. A new look defense for Pittsburgh. Bob Lilly has to instill his philosophy into several new players this year. He only returned 4 key outfield players to the Riverhounds.
It's surprising that, Spence. I mean, you only concede 10 goals. You'd think you'll do everything to keep your back 4 together the next season, wouldn't you?
Thomas Van Keeziel and Skylar Thomas were big parts of that back line. They have since departed. Van Keeziel now in San Diego. Here's Alex Lara. To Bortataka as it's stripped by Tommy Williamson, who's on loan from San Jose after being drafted this year in the first round of the Super Draft.
I like how Forbes is getting on the ball nice and early, dictating play. He's always there, always wants it. Just from his body language, you can tell that.
Here is the former Hartford player Dixon. Now it's Russell Cicerone. Cicerone will have a crack, and it bounces into Caldwell's arms.
Lovely little drop of the shoulder from Cicerone there. He's a guy who's very crafty.
It's already more involvement than he had last weekend. He had just 10 touches in 62 minutes.
as an attacking player, if I'm having 10 touches, I'm talking to all my teammates all week. I'm not just going to let that happen, and I'm telling my left back, my right back, get me on the ball.
Cicerone did play here last year in the playoffs with St. Louis.
I mean, I know Cicerone from personal experience as well. Last season with Miami FC, he was playing right up against me, and I remember, let's see what happens here.
This is Williamson.
I remember watching them doing scouting on Cicerone because he was my direct opponent. And I was like, this is a crafty guy. Like, he'll go for a shot and he'll fake and come onto his left foot, and he'll even fake again. I'm excited to see that. I want to see him get on the ball.
Fans, don't forget to download the official Hartford Athletic mobile app presented by J Restaurant, available for Apple and Android phones. It's the one-stop shop for all things Hartford Athletic, and the easiest way to manage your tickets. Go to hartfordathletic.com/app. Here's Forbes. Danny Griffin trying to get involved in the midfield. Two of the four returning players in the traditional 11. Jordan Dover is in there as well, up the right side. First 10 minutes, Harry Watling knows the type of battle this game is in comparison to his last two games. This is Pittsburgh that we're talking about, plus 29 goal differential last year. Tied for the best in the league with Phoenix.
Oh, he knows what type of battle it is. As we've been saying, a team that's just lost their last game 3-0, you're going to get the best version of them. Everybody's coming hungry, so he knows he's going to get the best version, so he has to get his lads mentally prepared for that. After 2 wins, you don't want them feeling good about themselves a bit too much, right? So you want them with renewed hunger, and that's the challenge.
Glynn fed it up ahead to Tabor Tataka. Now it's Barrera. And that is Pittsburgh ball. That was an interesting point that Watling made on the phone this week. He said some teams after a bad loss, for example, like Pittsburgh, they like to just flush it. They say, let's forget about it, let's come back fresh this week. He emphasized to his team to flush the 2 wins. He said, we need to start fresh. Obregon is in an offside position.
And I think that's the smartest thing he could have done. Because football has a funny knack of when you're winning a couple games, you feel yourself and then you get taught a lesson.
Tonight's virtual walkout, kids, presented by the Hartford, is Southing Soccer Club. Be sure to check out our group experience page to participate as a virtual walkout team in 2021.
So Spencer, as you're saying, flushing out wins. Let's have a look what happens.
Dixon into the box, gets his cross in. It's cleared away by Gabby Torres.
I mean, when you think about you've had 2 wins and you want to forget about it, it sounds like such a strange concept, but it makes so much sense. You're walking into a team that is going to be at their hungriest.
Griffin feeds it down the right side. Again, it's dealt with by a Hartford player, but not cleared convincingly. Griffin for Dover.
Yeah, so you're walking into a team that's going to be at their hungriest. You've kind of let your shoulders down and your head down and you're relaxed. You're sitting up at the top of the table feeling good. That's when a banana skin can happen. So I think Coach Watling is doing the right thing.
Even at the beginning of the conversation, he said, it's early and we know that. But he accepts the challenge of the expectations this year for a team that had a much better second year than their first. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Selected as the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. This is Dixon again on the left side. Alex Dixon will go for goal. It's blocked down by Caldwell. He recovers nicely. End-to-end action thus far, though it's mostly one-way traffic.
Pittsburgh are looking pretty good. They're moving the ball well. There's been a few times where they've got into some dangerous positions, so that's exactly what Coach Lilly would have wanted to see. A response. You always want to see a response early in the game.
Tulu out wide looking for Torres, who hasn't gotten on the ball much. It's a similar situation for Hartford. They return this year just 19% of their team's minutes from last year. Only 6 players are back. Pereira, the mainstay.
Spence, if you look throughout the USL, I seem to see that that's a trend. There's a huge overhaul in players, so at the start of the season, you really don't know what to expect from different teams.
In fact, most of the teams, as you mentioned, have had some turnover. Louisville is one of those teams that has had very little turnover. Tampa Bay as well. And those are 2 teams, Tampa Bay specifically, that these 2 will have to deal with this year.
Yeah, I
have to learn quickly.
I would lean on the side of not having too much turnover personally. Like Tampa Bay.
Look out to Bordataka. He'll fall onto that. Here comes Preston to Bordataka. Shot blocked. The second effort blocked as well by Barrera. He'll chase it down, though. Barrera into the box. Hounded by Forbes. Barrera gets his cross in, and Obregon skies it over the bar.
Good to see Hartford getting into the game now on the attacking end to Bordataka. I like the little run there. Can you just get that shot off? They did well to block it, but it's good to see him getting on the ball.
Dixon is fouled by his former teammate and then gets into it with Lara. Just a little bit of family fun. And a word from Lucas Spalla, our referee, who will receive a yellow. Dixon will. And now he needs to be careful the rest of the way. Actually, I beg your pardon, that's on Lara.
Pittsburgh now really need to be going down that left side. Early yellow card.
I believe the yellow card was for what happened afterwards, although you could also argue that that was enough.
If I'm the winger now, the left winger, Alex Dixon, I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm absolutely demanding the ball from my midfield, my left back, every time they get it. And when they don't give it to me, I'm letting them know that. Give me the ball. He's on a yellow card.
Forbes always turning the screw in the midfield.
He's so comfortable on the ball, isn't he?
Williams' pass intercepted. Hartford do have numbers if they go quick, but Shane Wheat will cut that one out. Former Loudoun player. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuovo Pasta and Citizens Bank for supporting our Goals for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this year, Nuovo Pasta and Citizens Bank will donate meals to Food Shops Connecticut. Harry Watling is no stranger to good football, coming from the various London academies. But he wants his style played here, and that is his words, defending from the front and attacking from the back. This is that defending from the front, and it results in a turnover.
Harry Watling has worked with some top young English talent as well. The likes of Declan Rice, Callum Hudson-Odoi. These are like some of the top guys coming through, so I believe there's more names, but
maybe names some of whom we haven't heard of yet. Reece James, another
James
one
as well, yeah. I mean, these are top players at their young age, so he's aged 31, but the experience in the players he's seen.
He worked with Reece James and Hudson-Odoi when they were 10 years old. And there's no way you can project 10 years down the road, but he played a factor into what is now a pair of players on a Chelsea side. They're not in the lineup every day, but mostly mainstays in that 18.
Definitely, and he's a man management type manager, so personally I love that type of management where you make your players feel a certain way to go and perform, right? So that was great to hear from him as well.
It's an excellent touch by Williamson to get on the ball. He holds it up nicely. It slipped inside for Todd Wharton, whose shot is blocked by Tulu, but it's out for a corner.
Pittsburgh have been sharp. Again, they're in the box. You know, they keep getting in the box. You know chances are going to come.
Corner kicks are brought to you by Bank of America. Forbes is the main man. Right into the middle. Cleared away nicely. Dixon lofts it towards the back post. Thomas Jinjigian, one of the new defenders for Hartford this year. He was fouled on that clearance from Pleasanton, California. Jinjigian comes over from Reno. And that's another element of USL Championship football that we've seen the last couple of years. When a team goes defunct, like Reno did last year, it becomes a sort of free-for-all to acquire those players. Jinjigian being one. He's now a member of Hartford.
There's just such a pool of players at the end of the season that, I mean, it's got to be every GM's dream, right?
To Bordataka. Brings the ball under his spell. Two yellow jerseys flock to him.
Hopefully he gets a chance to get one of these fullbacks one-on-one. They've done well to double up every time he's got the ball.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, presenting sponsor of our community champion program. Children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford are able to come to the matches free of charge. You mentioned Bordataka and his ability to get on the ball. He came on last week in his season debut against Miami as a super sub. Came on at halftime. We talked about Cicerone against Tampa. 10 touches in an hour for Cicerone. Bordataka had 8 touches inside the box in 45 minutes. The rest of the team throughout the game had just 13.
Oh, that speaks for itself. That stat that you just said. He'll be trying to get Alex Dixon, though. I like how he started the game. He's had a lot of touches on the ball, and he looks lively on the other side. So we got Bordataka and Alex Dixon on the same side, going up, well, not against each other, but doing the same thing for their respective teams.
Jamison has his defender on skates, and he earns the foul.
But you know, Alex Dixon, he has that motivation. It's his old team. There's nothing like a natural motivation like that. I've played against my old teams a few times. One story comes to mind after going to DC United, coming back to play against Red Bulls. I was so up for the game. Like, there's nothing that could recreate that kind of mentality and motivation.
Did you tell yourself ahead of time if you scored you were just going to throw your hands in the air and say, I can't celebrate?
I'm actually thinking about that now. What would I have done if I did score? I did have a chance. I went through on goal. That would have been interesting. It's that one where you celebrate for a second, then you put your hands up. And you let the fans know.
Here is Dixon. Slips in Griffin, who tried to return the favor. Rogers is the guilty party this time. And I believe his name has been taken. Two early yellow cards for Hartford. Rogers and Lara will need to be careful.
Fair enough, that. You don't want to get a yellow early in the game. It's just any mistimed tackle, anything can happen.
And with returning fans come returning hecklers.
I heard that. I heard that. It all adds to the atmosphere, though. Like, you want to hear a little something in the background. You don't want to just hear us two up here talking. You hear a little bit of atmosphere as well.
At the FA Cup final earlier today with fans at Wembley Stadium. A pair of teams that Harry Watling is fond of for different reasons.
He was a big fan of Brendan Rodgers, right?
Yeah, he was at Chelsea's Youth Academy working with the U19s at one point, 10s and 11s as well. But as you mentioned, he loves Brendan Rodgers, Leicester City's manager who just won an FA Cup, because Rodgers is not a former player at the professional level. Neither was Watling. He's 31 years old. Watling said that he only played until he was about 15. He just didn't have the size, but he loved the game. And this is how he's stayed in it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't say Mourinho for that reason. But yeah, no, for sure. There's definitely similarities in there. They've done great. Not playing the game to a high professional level, but excelling. Brendan Rodgers has done great.
Williamson floats it towards the back post. There's Forbes. Back out for Dover, who was tripped up.
I like the amount of players that Pittsburgh have in the box. Like, I think there's 5 or 6 in the box at that time. They're coming out of it now, but let's get something in for those guys.
Every set piece that Pittsburgh has in this area is just another opportunity for Kenardo Forbes to work his magic.
You always want to have someone that can deliver those balls. I played with a guy called Sasha Klestion, and he was a whiz at corners, free kicks, everything.
Low ball in. Kilwine couldn't handle it. It's cleared away. Boy, and that was a forearm shiver by Juan Carlos Obregon. He can't believe it, but boy, if we took another look at that, and maybe if he did, he would see why.
Yeah, that might be the wrong sport, that. Let him know he's in the game. He's shocked.
Walgreens is proud to support Hartford Athletic. Nominate someone making a change in your community, and they could be recognized as the change maker of the month. Go to hartfordathletic.com/COTM to learn more. Kilwine has to track that down. That's a pair of number 23s going at it, and Tabor Hataka has the speed advantage over just about everybody on the pitch. Again, Forbes directing traffic.
Look at Alex Dixon. Love his attitude.
Dixon has Griffin. Griffin sends it towards the back post. It's cleared away. And it rolls out harmlessly as Dover brings it back in.
He's been direct, Dixon.
Jigian has been busy. Hartford are racking up the fouls, which is no surprise given their first 2 games. 55 fouls in the team's first 2 games against Miami and Red Bulls 2. Sportataka has gone down.
Let's hope this isn't a muscle.
He'll be checked on. This is Dixon with the most recent Pittsburgh chance. Griffin kept it moving. Do you like that, or do you thought he could have wanted to take a shot on goal instead?
Good point. He could have probably got a shot on goal as well. Must have had something else in his mind there. Cicerone again. I want to see Cicerone getting around, demanding that ball, because he can make a difference. He's got real talent. You got to get your number 10 on the ball. You know.
J Restaurant is proud to support Hartford Athletic. Visit J Restaurant, located at 297 Washington Street in Hartford, for their special Hartford Athletic Booze Nanza drink. I know that's one for you, Lloyd. Show your game day ticket and receive 10% off your entire order. I don't know what Booze Nanza is, but you can go get one.
Booze Nanza. Sounds interesting.
Is this about what you expected the first half hour or so? We haven't had the breakthrough goal, but it hasn't just been kicking it around in the midfield.
I think Pittsburgh right now, they'll be pretty happy with how it starts. I don't think Hartford will be unhappy, but Pittsburgh have looked like they've got into the box a few more times. So I'll probably give them the edge at the moment. Let's hope Sportataka's okay as well. Really want to see him have more moments in this game. Attacking players, it's so easy to drift out the game. It's one thing that in my older age as a player, I would preach to younger guys. Don't let yourself drift out. Open your mouth, like do things, body language. If you ain't touched the ball for 10, 15 minutes, go get it.
You wonder where Cicerone is. Pick him out on the left-hand side of your screen. Wharton. Now Griffin. And Dover. Preston Kilwine finds Cicerone, who slips in Griffin, who returns it to Cicerone, who slides in Dixon, who crosses it along the back post, but couldn't cleanly pick out Williamson. Pressure getting tighter from Pittsburgh as Jamison gets it clear.
Good to see Cicerone get a couple touches after what we had just said.
Obregon has space and time. His shot blocked by Williams.
Can you bring some of your others into the game? He had two good runners either side of him. He had two defenders that had gone with him.
Midfield has been won by Pittsburgh so far. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forwardforever-proud. Wharton. Pittsburgh have continued to come. Hartford, though, maintaining their solid defensive shape. A lot of pressing in this area of the pitch, and again, they win it back. Taka wants the foul, and he gets it. Back into the game. Fans, a reminder that AARP Connecticut is proud to support Hartford Athletic and welcome fans to visit aarp.org/CT events to learn more about upcoming virtual events. Our events are fun, informational, and free to people of all ages. That's aarp.org/CT events. The new keeper, Jeff Caldwell, former member of the New England Revolution, has stayed relatively local. Jamison keeps it alive. Williams can't get to it. Obregon can. Barrera has options. He'll go for goal himself. Probably wasn't the best choice.
Yeah, he had a bit of space to get a good shot off there, but didn't quite get it right. This next 10 minutes is going to be interesting to see which team. It's been a bit even the last 10, so which team goes into the half on top. But what does being on top really mean? You have to get a goal when you're on top, so hopefully you can be on top and take the lead.
6 shots for Pittsburgh, 2 on target, 5 for Hartford, and only 1 has hit the target. Lara lofts it down the pitch, looking for Barrera. Hillwine can't keep it in. That was weak, excuse me.
I think both managers will be reasonably happy at this point. You don't want to go down off something silly, or 0-0 is an okay score at this point in the game.
Cicerone is hounded, and McGlynn will be lucky to avoid a booking. And she does. Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thank you to our partners Jim Beam Bourbon and Hornitos Plata Tequila. Dixon has been lively. Wharton chooses the other direction.
He has been lively. Oh, nice little turn there.
Couldn't find Williamson.
Forbes is the one that needs to get on the ball in that midfield. He seems to be able to slow the game down, get turned, and get them playing. So I love when I see him showing for the ball and getting in those angles.
Jigian for Tulu. Rogers able to hold it up. Wonderful turn by Torres.
You know, Spencer, like we talked about earlier about Pittsburgh last season conceding 10 goals. We have to appreciate how good of a stat that is.
Obregon. There's Taka in the middle. And 5 yellow jerseys to deal with. To the back post looking for Barrera.
Lovely little touch.
And it's taken away by Cicerone, and he has room to run.
Hold it.
Dixon to his left. Cicerone Alex Dixon, the former Hartford player, can't catch up to it. Tulu with some excellent defending.
Great running from Dixon. Great little flick in the midfield from him as well. I think Cicerone did everything right, but the defender actually, he made a great tackle in the end of that. I was thinking, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let him get alongside with you. And then seemed like he played at the right time, but good tackle.
This is the type of game, if you're a fan of either side.
That's what I want to see from Cicerone, though. Drive at that, commit someone.
If you're a fan of either side in this game, you look at the score at halftime. Maybe you're not watching the game, you go, oh, 0-0. That not much has happened. But if you're a fan of either side and you're looking for that goal, your heart's in your throat.
For sure. I mean, these games mean a lot, especially, you know, the way the divisions are now. Points are at a premium. Every point is important.
8 teams in the Atlantic Division. The top 4 teams out of those 8 will make the playoffs come November. 5 of the 8 teams in this division made the playoffs last year. That means, simple math, 1 won't. And this is trouble. Cicerone has scored for Pittsburgh. He barely got involved until he scores the first goal. Russell Cicerone scores his first Riverhounds goal, and Pittsburgh lead it 1-0.
I've been talking about Cicerone since the game started. There he is. What a great finish that is. Wow. Off the post and in. He is a technical player. He's got a crafty guy. I really love his game. I really love his game, and that was from before this game. I had that opinion of him. It's great to see him get that goal. They deserve it.
In a game that's featured so much buildup, so much anticipation, that came from nothing.
That's, you want players on your team that can just strike like that. You know, they have that skill set. Like, give me one chance and they can do that. So what a great time to get it as well. I did say the next 10 minutes it was going to be interesting to see what happens. It's often the team just breaks away from the other with a little moment. I fancied him and Dixon the way the game's been going.
All of Pittsburgh's hard work in this first half has been rewarded. Now the onus is on Hartford to respond. If they can get one before the half, surely it would go a long way towards the halftime team talk from Harry Watling. If not, that team talk will be a little dicier than the first 2 in the young stages of this 2021 season.
Definitely changes that team talk now.
Down goes Jamison, tussling with Dover. Be sure to share your match day smiles. Take a photo in your Hartford athletic gear with the hashtag #MatchDaySmiles and tag @Delta Dental to be entered in a contest to win VIP experiences at Dillon Stadium. Torres, his cross is tame.
Riverhounds are looking like the Riverhounds that we know. They've been pretty comfortable. They look like a well-drilled team. They've looked dangerous.
With that 1-goal lead, it becomes even harder to break through what is historically a vaunted Bob Lilly defense. just don't concede that easily. If you're new to the USL and you saw that they had given up 3 last week, you might need to rethink your opinion on this Pittsburgh team, because that's just not what they do. Our stoppage time of 3 minutes is brought to you by Brignole Vineyards. Riverhounds pressing towards the end of this first half. That appeared to graze the arm of McGlynn, and Cicerone has gone down, but Pittsburgh have won the ball back.
Look at the time Forbes has when he gets on it. It's just such a calming thing to see him get on the ball for his team. I see Barrera trying to stand on him. That would be a good idea, actually. Take him out the game. He gets a lot of their moves started.
Obregon gets away from 1 Riverhounds defender, but not 2. Griffin dispossessed. Now there seemed to be a swarm of yellow jerseys
Dixon
around the ball at all
move.
times. Dixon has worked the wing. Cicerone to Griffin. Back out wide for Dixon. Canardo Forbes on his birthday. He turns 33 today. That one may have taken a deflection. It is out for a corner.
Can Forbes hit that first time? Can Forbes hit that one there first time when it got rolled into him? That's all I'm thinking. Took more touches than he needed, in my opinion. Good move, great move though.
Bank of America corner kick. I asked Bob Lilly if he got anything for Canardo on his birthday. He said, well, Canardo usually remembers mine, and I generally tend to forget his. We're both in May. 33 years old for the USL's all-time assist leader. Forbes whips it in. Glanced off of Williams' head. The flag will go up, not on Williams, on Cicerone. That should just about take us to halftime. So I ask you, Lloyd, as we go into halftime, if you're Harry Watling at Hartford, what's your message?
My message is, we're 1-0 down. Have we really turned up? Have we played our stuff? Maybe not. We haven't really threatened the goal enough.
How about here? One more shot, perhaps, to Bortataka, with very little help to work with, and that'll do it.
Yeah,
the first half.
The message would be, guys, we need to be a bit more explosive. You know how he talks about his wingers? He wants them to take the fans off their seat. They haven't really had a chance to do that. He'll want a lot more. It's not been a bad half though, but you go in 1-0 down, it's tough. Letting it go, what, 42nd minute?
Russell Cicerone in the 42nd. That is our halftime score. We've got much more for you here at the half. 1-0 to Pittsburgh in opening night at Dillon Stadium. We'll be back with our halftime report when we return.
Love is true.
don't just protect things, we help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
One 0 our score at halftime at Dillon Stadium. Riverhounds getting a goal from Russell Cicerone, but before we get to the recap of this first half, let's take you around the USL from what happened midweek. Always like me some midweek football. Sacramento Republic, Las Vegas Lights FC, and Sacramento started the scoring 13th minute. It was that man, Darius Formella. He always likes to get involved, and he's now becoming a Sacramento staple. The Republic, though, would concede a penalty that was scored by Danny Musovski, but Sacramento would come back. They'd score 2 goals in a matter of 7 minutes. First, it was Tucker Bone, who almost took out one of his teammates in the celebration, and Jaime Villarreal with the game clincher for Sacramento. There was also an excellent Eastern Conference matchup between Charleston and Charlotte, a rematch of last year's playoff matchup between these two sides. Marcelo Palomino gets the first goal for Charlotte Independence. They would just pour it on. 3 goals for Charlotte in this victory. The second one coming at the hands of their newest number 9, Irvin Parra. Look at that finish from Parra, who makes no mistake. Charleston won that playoff matchup in extra time last year. This year, though, it was Charlotte who go on the road to get the win. This was the penalty that led to the 49th minute PK goal from Parra. His brace would take care of business and start Charlotte off on the right foot. That was your midweek recap. Take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got plenty more for you. A look at what's on tap for later tonight. And we also have to remind you, later tonight, it is the unfinished business in the USL. The Tampa Bay Rowdies welcoming the Phoenix Rising side that should have played Tampa Bay in that final back in November. 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. You got to be there for it. And then, of course, later on, it's Greenville and Union Omaha tomorrow on ESPN2. But more to come from Hartford when we return.
This is Jake Edwards, and you are listening to Steal Some Time.
First buy or sell of the day. Oscar Minez is a top 3 set piece specialist in the USL Championship. Scott, you buying or selling that?
Take all the money in my bank account. I think, Oscar, I will buy that. And really, I would say that I would have bought that from like 2017, 2018 on.
just protect things. We help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
Back at Dillon Stadium, it is 1-0 to the Riverhounds, alongside former Charlton Athletic man Lloyd Sam. I'm Spencer Siegel. We're happy to have you along tonight, and we take a look at some news and notes from around the USL. Joaquin Rivas continues to do wonderful things for Tulsa. He scores twice against Indy 11. You know what's coming up tonight. That game actually just got underway. Tampa Bay and Phoenix. That's on ESPN2. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. You know the whole deal. Plus, Greenville and Union Omaha in the first ever USL League One linear broadcast on ESPN2. Besides those two games, you've got plenty of other games to look forward to on the ESPN family of networks. 3 games on ESPN Deportes. I know that Lloyd Sam hablas español. And San Diego Loyal, Sacramento Republic, that's ESPN2. Go ahead, you can wow us with some of your Spanish.
I've learned a little bit,
Okay.
but I'm not ready to do that.
Elsewhere, we can look to the Atlantic Division table. This is early. This is early days. A lot of time to go, and that's why it's probably the only time you'll see Pittsburgh in 8th place out of 8. But albeit after one game, they do find themselves in a position of chasing Tampa Bay, Hartford, among others. Athletic off to that excellent start. And we will have the second half for you shortly. When we return, we'll provide you with the first half highlights. You'll see the goal. You'll see the first half statistics. That when we come back.
Happy birthday to you.
We don't just protect things. We help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights from this one. Opening night at Dillon Stadium. Lloyd Sam, there was not a lot going in the first 40 minutes in terms of a real threat, but we did have several shots on target. That was the first one for Hartford off the boot of Bradford Jameson.
Yeah, not a lot going, but both managers will be okay with that early in the game. It doesn't need to be too crazy.
We saw a lot of this. Alex Dixon, number 7 in yellow, down the left flank and causing problems for his former team.
He's been dangerous the whole half. I hope they get him more of the ball second half because he's causing problems.
This was another opportunity for Hartford. It was Barrera who, on his weaker left foot, tried to make something happen from a distance. And there just wasn't a lot going inside the box for Hartford. That was their biggest problem. And then you saw the first chance that you thought would end up as the goal, but a wonderful play by Tulu to cut out Dixon.
Great defending there. He cut off both threats, outside and inside there. He did well.
Just 2 minutes later, the goal, Cicerone. Really something from nothing. Ball just lobbed back in. This is Williamson's header. Perfectly placed for Cicerone.
I love the way he opens up his body there for the finish. It's so deliberate what he's tried to do here.
Cicerone scores his first goal in a Pittsburgh jersey after scoring 5 goals in each of the last 2 seasons for St. Louis, a team that he recorded 49 appearances for. Your first half statistics tell the story of an entertaining battle, 50-50 possession, a lot of shots, but the one stat that matters, Pittsburgh's goal.
One stat that matters.
How about Hartford's upcoming matchups? We knew that it would get tough. They've got a Western Conference bout, something that nobody saw last year, interconference play. Red Bulls 2 to start the month of June, so they do have some time off between now and their next match. They've got 2 weeks in that stretch. And we're ready to start the second half. Again, it's Hartford in the blue and green. They'll be headed to your left. Pittsburgh in the yellow. With Lloyd Sam, I'm Spencer Siegel, and we resume play with the sun down at Dillon Stadium.
It'll be interesting to know what the coaches said at halftime. If Bob Lilly, I'm sure he'll be delighted to take the lead right before halftime.
Get a look at Luca Perpa, who has come into the game. 22-year-old from Milwaukee.
I would imagine he just told his boys, remain tight at the back. Got to be tight at the back, like they were last season.
Perpa has replaced Arthur Rogers, which is not necessarily a like-for-like change, although Perpa might be utilized to get his side a little bit more forward.
I think Coach Watling now on the other side will be like, we need more energy, we need more deliberate attacking, explosive moves up there. Go beat a man and get the ball in the box for the strikers or for the other attacking players. He'll want a response.
Rogers, who had departed, was on a yellow. The only active caution in the game is Alex Lara for Hartford. Towards the byline, Williamson, 12th overall pick for San Jose, on loan with the Riverhounds this season. Hartford can't get it clear. Dixon will now be working at the top of your screen along that left side. Here he is, Alex Dixon, looking for the spectacular. It's blocked down though by McGlynn, and here come Hartford. Excellently brought up ahead for Obregon Jr. In the middle, it's Barrera. Obregon couldn't get his cross to him. Jamison dispossessed.
Obregon had a guy in the middle.
Dover found Cicerone, who couldn't cushion it down.
Obregon had his man in the middle. The ball was a bit too wide in the end, and they managed to recover. Got to see Danny Barrera on the ball a little bit more as well. As the leader, he'll want to lead with his voice, but even more with his performance, with him getting on the ball, making things happen for his team.
Pittsburgh defending deeper now. Towards the end of that first half, they had pressed, which they hadn't done much of, but with that one goal lead, they'll be more comfortable. More comfortable on the ball, as Bob Lilly said to us that this year's team is more versatile than last year's. And though they're still trying to get everybody on the same page, he says it's easier with this team to provide more dynamic attacking options and play through the lines rather than over the top. Here's Barrera's service, and the foul will go the other way.
Exactly what you're just saying, Spence. They've played through the lines with the likes of Cicerone and Dixon. So I definitely see exactly the point that he was making in the game.
They did not do that against Tampa Bay. They just couldn't get through that midline defense. As you said, Lloyd, they've done a really good job tonight.
They've looked solid. They look well drilled. They look focused. And this is what you expect after a 3-0 loss. If you don't have that after a 3-0 loss, then there's a big problem.
Lucas Spalla will take a mental note, the referee, of that mild time wasting by Danny Vitiello. Next time he might see yellow. Here's Barrera. Now Obregon for Perpa. Luca Perpa, shot deflected. Claims of handball, nothing doing.
I like that little pass from Barrera in there in the midfield, getting it to his front man.
Dixon has a runner in Griffin if he can find him. Instead, he takes it on himself. Alex Dixon sliding in Griffin, who whips it across the face of goal, and Tulu and Caldwell nearly got into a mix-up.
You would hope for more on the cross there, really and truly, is a dangerous position. That chance is gone begging.
Thomas Jinjigian for Alex Lara. Lofted ahead for Obregon. Cleared by Wheat. And out by Kilwine. Don't miss the next Hartford match right here at Dillon Stadium on May 29th, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, as we honor Military and Veterans Appreciation Night.
Can Barrera keep getting on it like this? He needs to lead by example now, the skipper. Keep getting on it.
Barrera flails it wide. This is Tabor Taka, zigging and zagging his way inside. Barrera.
The pass was late.
It's just in an awkward spot for him. Hartford applying more pressure here, and I think if you're looking at a difference between last year's first place Hartford team and the expectations this year, it's that going down a goal like this to a really good team doesn't necessarily eliminate them from contention in this game. Last year, that might have been the case. They lost 5-0 and 3-0 to Pittsburgh. Jamison cleverly looking for Barrera. Griffin couldn't clear it. There's about 10 legs surrounding that ball. Now it's Tabor Taka. He wanted to take the corner, but it took a double deflection, and it's out for a goal kick.
To your earlier point, being 1-0 down, with so much time to go, they're still in a great position. Should be chances coming. They still have some attacking players on the ball. As we said, we want to see more threat. As the game goes on, you would imagine the mentality will be to push for that goal.
It's the Harry Watling style. And as we had expected, Vitiello has been cautioned, so he can't do that the rest of the game. A little early for time wasting. And it didn't really amount to much. Torres being bothered by several Riverhounds players. Hartford Athletic would like to thank the law offices of Crescenzo DeLuca, serving Weathersfield, Greater Hartford, and Connecticut with 41 years of experience to immigration and general practice law. Jameson. Not enough on it for Tabortataka. Cut that wing off for him. He can't get to the byline. Tabortataka tonight.
He's had no space out there, has he?
Mira closed down. Glynn looking to create.
There's a few options out there. There was an option outright from McGinn there. Would have loved to see him take that option there.
Cicerone. Now Williamson. It's out of bounds. It will be a Pittsburgh throw.
Coach Watling looks upbeat there. Still in the game. Still in the game. Chances will come. Who's going to create the chance, though? That's the question. Tabortataka hasn't really had his way.
It's the birthday boy, Forbes. I suppose at 33, he's more of a birthday man.
As soon as you get to those ages, you know, people start to expect your drop-off, but you know, you can go right up till 37. Wes Morgan played in the FA Cup final today at 37, right? So
he sure did. 37 and still at the highest level. Wheat takes no chances. You can see Pittsburgh just settling in defensively, not spending too much time on the ball once it finds its way to the Hartford third.
Yeah, you don't want to see them drop off too much and invite pressure, though. So it's about getting that balance. You want to stay nice and tight, but you also want to still maybe get the second goal. But thinking about their defensive record last year, maybe staying tight is what they would probably go to once they get ahead.
Cross comes in, it's not cleared convincingly, and Jameson skies it high. Needed to keep that one down. And you're getting to the point now, Lloyd, with about half an hour and change remaining. You need to start putting these types of chances on target at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good chance, but it's not an easy one on the left foot. But you would love to see him get it on target if he can. Bradford Jameson, I remember him from the LA Galaxy from back in the day, so he has an MLS pedigree.
He won an MLS Cup despite being a rookie that year. Didn't play much in 2014, but that was a team that had Landon Donovan and Bruce Arena as the head coach. Spent last year in the second division in Denmark.
He scored against Red Bulls when I was playing against them. I think we lost at home 2-1 that day. It was a great goal. I still remember it.
For Jameson, you know, he's 24 years old, Lloyd, but it feels like his rookie year being now 7 years ago, that he's a veteran.
How is he only 24 years old? He must have stayed that age his whole career. It feels like he's got to be older than that, right?
Looks like we may see the debut of Yunus Budati for Hartford. He'd been out with an injury the first couple of games, getting some instructions from Harry Watling. Budati, who comes over from Reno, another one of those transient players.
This is around the time when them subs come on to bring a spark. Have to come on with a certain energy and a certain real drive to make something happen for your team.
Might have been a handball, yep. Budati is a defender. Hartford, should they bring him in, they'd still have 3 more substitutions at their disposal.
Surprised to hear defenders coming on. Maybe a change of shape.
Watling did say the shape may change, but the mentality would not. Jamison first to it. Torres calmly. Pereira. Jamison. Gabby Torres. See how many yellow jerseys got back so quickly.
You're on the edge of the box and then you end up back here. You had a shooting opportunity.
Lucas Spalla sees nothing wrong with that challenge. This may be the time where we see the substitution. Budati and Sebastian Elney are both at the sideline as Budati will come in for Alex Lara, who was on a yellow. And Elney will send Obregon back to the bench after an hour of work. Elney, who spent the last 2 seasons with Red Bulls 2. He is the offensive spark that Hartford is looking for. 23 years old, Elney, in his first season now with Hartford.
He's got the number 9 on his back as well. I'm sure Harry Wantlin wants him to come and give the team a lift. You don't just make subs to make subs. Come on, give the team a lift. Come with a new energy. Jesse Marsh was a big guy for that, about subs coming on. He would not he would not have it if you're coming on the field just to come on the field. You better give that team a lift when you're coming on.
Well, that's what we saw last week with Hartford when Taborda Tucker came on at halftime, and he provided that spark. The goal was scored in the second half, that 1-0 victory. It's a different scenario this time around. Hartford have to chase.
Yeah, sometimes they say players are better coming off the bench. I'm not to label Taborda Tucker with that, but sometimes when you come off the bench for 30 minutes, you can be more impactful than when you start a game. But you never really want that label as a player. You obviously want to start the games, right? You don't want to be known as a super sub. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Never want to be known as that, really. But I'll take Solskjaer's career, though.
How often would you come off the bench?
It's a good question. Last season, I was coming off the bench from Miami FC more, but when I was at Red Bulls and DC United, I was a player that was hoping to start more games than coming off the bench, honestly. I was going to say expecting to start, but, you know.
Williamson trying to chip it up.
But there was times earlier in my career at, let's say, Leeds United, where I was stuck on the bench for a whole season in the Championship, and I was coming on, making an impact, and then I'm back on the bench again. So that wasn't really an amazing period, but just want to be involved really and truly, don't you?
See Albert Dequoy and Danny Rovira into the game. It will be Dequoy for Williamson. And Rovira for Dixon, whose night in his return to his old stomping grounds is done.
A little surprised Dixon's coming off. He's been lively, probably one of the liveliest player, I would say.
It's a defensive change with Rivera. Might see Pittsburgh now work with a back five and put Jordan Dover and Preston Kilwine on the wings.
It's always the wingers that come off, right? I'm a guy that's in the wingers union. Always the wingers.
As soon as Dequoy comes into the game, he hits the ground. Still a lot of time for Hartford, but it will get tougher as the minutes troll on. Visit hartfordathletic.com to see our pub partners and make sure to pay them a visit and support the local restaurants and bars in the area. This year, our pub partners include City Stream Brewery in Hartford and TK's in Danbury. This will be our first chance to get a good look at the defensive shape of Pittsburgh as they settle in with their new substitutes. Cicerone and Dequoy playing up top.
Pittsburgh will be very comfortable with Hartford knocking it around like this with the way the game's going. Got to get behind those lines, right? Got to get players turned in the Pittsburgh half.
Jinjigian makes his rare run forward and then has to retreat. That's about as far as he gets. Try the long ball. Barrera won't get to it, but it's played safely out by Williams. Substitute Budati gets around the defense to the byline, and his choice appeared to be the wrong one, but it is out for a corner.
That was a good little move there. Good to see them get into the byline.
Corner brought to you by Bank of America. I'm not sure what, okay. It looked like Danny Barrera was about to throw it in.
Oh my God. Never seen that, but that's probably a signal for one of their corners. Wouldn't it be great to get a goal from a corner here? It's been hard to create.
Barrera towards the back post. Vitiello gets to it.
Sometimes when the attacking players can't make nothing happen, it would be great when a center back comes up and just heads one in. Takes a lot of pressure off the team.
Westfield Bank is proud to support Hartford Athletic and all they do to make our communities better. Jamison, excellent turn. Barrera with some time, softly for Torres, cleared away by Griffin.
They're getting guys forward now. Things are starting to shift a little bit in Hartford's favor, momentum-wise.
Torres did really well to keep that in, and he keeps his run going. Torres has gone down, and it looks like Lucas Spalla will bring it back to the initial foul. He was playing advantage at first, so a better angle for Barrera to send in his cross.
Again, here's an opportunity, right? Attacking players aren't doing too much. Can one of the big center backs really take this opportunity?
Jinjigian in there. Tulu in there. Some big bodies to aim at. Both 6'2". Barrera. That's just not enough.
Gotta give him a chance.
Fans, if you're on the road and you can't watch the match, tune into Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney March, and the brand new USL All Access featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, Premier League, the Champions League, and more. Sirius XM FC, channel 157 on your Sirius XM radio and the Sirius XM app.
Yeah, that's nice getting the defenders turned at this moment. Now get your whole team forward.
Williams took the safe option, was headed in for Jamison, who couldn't get to it first. Cleared only as far as McGlynn. It was read all the way, though, by Griffin. Torres again picked the wrong option, and now Pittsburgh can try to run.
Got to take care of those passes there in the attacking third. It's important possession. Now your whole team has to run back because of your giveaway.
Dover has not gotten forward much tonight. Dover for Cicerone.
That's nice.
He needs options, or he can try to do it himself. Cicerone went down very easily. And Tabordataka will try to run. Look at the electric run from Tabordataka, but his final touch let him down.
What a shame. That looked like they were just on different pages, him and Jamison there.
A reminder that our partner Dayhill Dome is holding a fundraiser to support St. Baldrick's Foundation to fight pediatric cancer. To learn more and support, go to hartfordathletic.com/foundation.
It's a great run by Tabordataka, though.
20 minutes and change. Hartford have yet to challenge Danny Vitiello in this second half. Walmer Martinez will try to inject some pace and pressure into this Hartford side. He'll come in momentarily. Herpa. All 11 Riverhound defenders playing the part of one solid shape. Jamison has been a bright spot for Hartford tonight. Herpa out wide. Substitute Budati. He too has been good since coming on, and that pass just went through everybody.
You need these attacking players to create some chances for this team, though. There's been bright spots, but the real bright spots are the ones that's really like making penetrative moves, right? And chances on goal.
At some point, somebody has to take this game for Hartford by the scruff of the neck.
It's not easy, though. It's not easy. You're away from home. You're playing against a tough team in Pittsburgh, which has a stout defense, so it's not easy.
The second goal would be an absolute dagger, but Pittsburgh aren't searching that hard for it.
Yeah, they're not searching too hard, are they? I think they're just content with it how it is now, and asking the question, can you break us down? Can you get through this team and get chances on goal?
Dikwa trying to apply some pressure. Torres screaming for the ball and gets it. Jamison couldn't handle that one. Hartford does hold on. That might be the moment for the substitution, which is brought to you by 4G Recycling. It is Martinez. He'll replace Preston Tabortataka, who was really good tonight, just couldn't get the final touch to go his way. Martinez, 22 years old, from Santa Cruz, California. He was called up recently for El Salvador in the World Cup qualifiers.
It's not really been a Taka's night tonight. Showed some moments.
Wheat misplays it. Elney gets his first chance on the ball. Slithers away from the defense. Here's McGlynn. He thought about it. Budati's cross cleared. Forbes will punch it sky high. Here's Dikwa and his hold-up play. That's what he can do.
Great hold-up. Great. Look at what it does for his team. Now everybody comes forward. Hartford have to all run back.
Cicerone, now Dover, cleared by McGlynn. Torres with a nice run.
There's his options though. He's looking up for a pass. Somebody show for him. He's beat two guys there looking for a pass and there's no one to give it to. It's disappointing to see.
Two more subs for Pittsburgh. Looks like Nikhil Williams will depart. Josh Gatt. And Jelani Peters coming in. Peters making his season debut. And Gatt relieves the goal scorer, Cicerone.
Cicerone's had a good game, man. He can sit down and cheer on his side the last little bit, but he can definitely feel good about his contribution. All the signs are pointing towards Pittsburgh just trying to hang on here. I say hang on. It's not like it's been so threatening so far, but they're happy with the 1-0, and they probably just want a clean sheet at this point. You know Coach Lilly would love that, right?
He has been the clean sheet savant in this league. And look out. That was Canardo Forbes tussling with Budati. Budati has gone down in a heap. Everybody now involved after that initial shove. So far, Lucas Spalla has not doled out any punishment. Budati is still down, and there is still shoving going on. This has all the makings of what was an excellent rivalry last year turning over to this year.
I think like this kind of ruckus right here is only going to benefit Hartford. Pittsburgh, you don't want to get them wound up. You don't want to give them extra incentive.
And there's a red card, and that could be to Forbes. And you can hear Lucas, or see Lucas Spalla signaling a stomp. But the red card, I don't think it's for Forbes. He's ushering somebody else out. This has completely changed the game. Now Pittsburgh are down to 10 men with 15 minutes left in this game. They're still working through who has been sent off, but from the looks of it, it might be Griffin.
Your team is cruising 1-0 ahead. It's only going to take something like this to upset the balance of the game now. You gotta be smarter here. I'd love to see exactly what happened in there, but this is exactly what Hartford need, a little lift.
trying to figure out for you exactly where the red card occurred, because this all started with Kenardo Forbes and Yunus Budati. I believe it is Forbes who's been sent off. Griffin was just speaking with the referee, but yeah, Forbes on his birthday, no less.
I'm not sure what got him so wound up, but I want to see a stronger head than that. You've got 10 minutes left. Let's have a look at this.
So this was Forbes and Budati, and Budati's antics there meant nothing, and there's the stomp. That was it. That was the red card. Budati went down really for no reason. Forbes came back with the stomp. That it was the secondary action. All of this, of course, will be added on to stoppage time. Forbes will have to leave. Let's take one more look here. So first, Budati goes down. Now watch Forbes's legs. Not there, but right there.
Forbes, you gotta do better there. You have to do better. You gotta put your team first before that. You got 10 minutes left to make till the end of the game. Now you've left them one man short, and Hartford are really gonna be loving their chances of getting an equalizer right now. I'm really disappointed of what I've seen there.
All of a sudden, for Hartford, there's a renewed sense of confidence, a chance that they feel they have 10, 15 minutes to make an impact, maybe salvage a point, or more importantly, take 2 away from Pittsburgh. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Fresh Bev, the official cocktail mixer of Hartford Athletic.
Game on.
Hartford would also like to thank our founding partners, Stanley, Black, and Decker. And a special thanks to our partner, Konresnik. Lloyd, if you've got Pittsburgh down to 10 men, you know their defensive principles will mostly stay the same. Do you change anything at this point if you're Hartford? Because to this point, 11 on 11, it just wasn't working.
Do I change anything? I think naturally the mentality is going to shift a bit to we have a real chance now. Everyone's going to probably look a little bit sharper, look a little bit more into the game. And that's the main thing, that you've given them some hope, where it looked like there wasn't much hope of creating chances before. So honestly, Forbes, an experienced player, but at the end of the day, he's a human being, right? We make mistakes.
Well, Forbes will miss at least one match, potentially more. And I believe that's a handball on Jinjigia. No, instead it's Dikwa was whistled for the foul. Richie Schlentz will be coming in shortly for Gabby Torres for Hartford, which again is more of a defensive-oriented switch, but Schlentz will try to work the wing, as Torres has done well tonight. Here he is, one of his last touches on the ball. Nobody there to meet the cross.
I expect to see Pittsburgh camped in a little bit more. It's still not going to be easy to just run through a team with 10 men. You're still going to have to, you know, there's going to have to be some ability there to unlock them still. So 10 against 11 doesn't mean that they'll get the goal.
Fans, follow the Hartford Athletic and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, Bundesliga, La Liga, as of yesterday, UFC, and more. Join the more than 12 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com.
Spencer, we had a nice calm game in Pittsburgh's view. Nice calm game. Everything was going how they wanted it to go. Sometimes it takes a moment like this, a learning lesson for players. You put your team first there.
You ever get a red? I tried to look up your. I didn't look up red. I looked up your goals. I didn't look up the red.
Yeah.
What did you do, my friend?
Did I ever get a red? I've had a couple reds. I've had a couple reds. Yeah, hey, it's a long career. We're talking 19 years, so there has to be some crazy moments in there.
First time Jamison has tried to turn and really done so unsuccessfully, but he hustles back and wins it back.
I had a red against Philadelphia Union one game, a hard tackle on Danny Cruz, who's actually the Louisville coach right now. That was my only red. I deserved it.
One of the assistants for John Hackford. Barrera knocks it down. Elney couldn't get to it, and it rolls away harmlessly for a goal kick. United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, please visit uslsoccer.com.
When you get a red card and you walk back into the changing room and you sit down and you know you've left your other 10 players in that situation, you start to realize, you know, how much you've let them down from a little move that you've done or a reaction. So I'm sure that's what Forbes is going through now, and hopefully he learns. He's got to learn from that.
It wasn't a red card for an aggressive play within the run of play. You might be able to excuse or at least understand something like that, but a red card for that stomp, an aggressive act,
that's
doesn't help the team.
Part, that it was that aggressive stamp. He deserved the red for that. So, you know, it's the other 10 players that now have to figure it out.
Forbes will be watching this game to its conclusion in hopes that the scoreline holds.
And Forbes is an important player to this team. So now he's going to miss another couple games as well after. So, you know, this division, you need your best players at all times. He's been nice. He's got on the ball. I've loved his attitude in that midfield before that.
Barrera. Now the substitute Schlentz. It's not an effective cross. Does not get any easier for Pittsburgh. They get Charlotte next weekend. Charlotte with that 3-0 victory over Charleston, which was a revenge game of sorts for them. Schlentz looking towards the back post. Overhits it, intended for Martinez. Budati tracks it down. 2 minutes plus stoppage time. We should see a few extra minutes after the red card antics. Schlentz does keep it in. Here's Perpa. That's an awkward cross, and that may end up going down as the first shot on target in quite some time for Hartford. Certainly wasn't intended to be a shot.
Well, let's hope that's not as a shot. That doesn't go down as a shot, because that was definitely a cross right there. You don't just get to have your way just because you have 11 against 10. You're still going to have to earn it.
I'll tell you what, too, after everything that occurred during that scuffle between the two teams, you've got to give credit to these referees. There are 4 referees out there, all of whom have their eyes on everything that's going on. After Budati went down, that's when the stomp occurred, so you very easily could have missed something like that. They were right on top of it.
Could have easily, you're right. Like, give credit to the refs there. They don't have any replays to watch like we have. So for them to get that right.
Mentioned Lucas Spalla is our center referee today. But it's a team effort, a team of 4. That includes Ben Pilgrim, Justin Lopez, and the 4th official, Jeremy Shear. Maybe a chance for Hartford. They need to get creative. Time is no longer on their side. That is a foul that goes against Pittsburgh. Martinez was working against Gatt, pair of substitutes. And this is a chance for Hartford to set something up.
Hartford really need to pile on the pressure this last 5 minutes. Nothing to lose now. Again, this is an opportunity. Wide free kick.
You see there our stoppage time brought to you by Brignall Vineyards. It's 5 minutes. Herrera with his left foot.
A bad delivery on this one now. This is important.
Lots of blue and green jerseys to aim at. Barrera whips it in. It takes a deflection, and it's in!
Wow.
Barrera gets the assist. Hartford, not the game. It's 1-1. It appears Budati is your goal scorer. We'll have to take a second look at it. There were several bodies mixed in. But Hartford have leveled the game with just minutes remaining. What a contest tonight at Dillon Stadium. It was the front runner, Luca Perpa, who scores his first goal this season, the Milwaukee native. And all of a sudden, Hartford not only have a chance here after leveling the game, they could go and win it.
Hartford will be feeling themselves right now to go on and get another. These wide free kicks, a real opportunity to get everybody forward.
That will most certainly be a yellow card. McGlynn sees yellow for the first time. If you're Pittsburgh now, you're just hoping to run the clock out with about 3 minutes to go. And the sinking feeling for Kenardo Forbes is hard to compare.
That would have hurt him hearing the chance for that goal, knowing that, you know, if he stays on, that likely doesn't happen. So that's going to hurt. It's going to be a hard lesson. Pittsburgh need the points. I say need the points. It's their second game of the season. But when you look at their division, you can't drop winning opportunities. There's too many tough teams in that division.
A goal for Hartford in the 91st minute. Louis Perez comes in for Todd Wharton. That's the final substitute for Pittsburgh. And with just minutes remaining, all 3 points are all of a sudden up for grabs.
They want to get this ball forward quickly.
Herrera will do just that. It's cleared by Wheat. Herrera was trying to see it out, and then he falls on top of Dequoy, and that will only intensify the rage on both sides.
fourth officials taking Barrera out of the play there. I didn't think that was a foul, actually.
Barrera would agree with you. Bob Lilly, who's right next to the ball, looks like he's about to take the free kick. He's just happy to see this out.
Listen to how the crowd is into the game now. You'd love to have another 5-10 minutes to really pile on this pressure.
Can Pittsburgh snatch the 3 points back? Looking for Dequois. And it lands right on top of the goal. Hartford have one more shot, perhaps, to push forward. It would be a remarkable comeback. It's already been such.
You see them waving them on.
Barrera chips it up. Elney flicks it on. Goal was scored after stoppage time began, so you might expect a few extra seconds to tick on beyond the allotted 5 minutes. That man will be pleased with his team's grit tonight. Elney keeps it in play, looking for Schlentz. Here's McGlynn, and the whistle blew before the shot. It never would have counted.
A little bit of excitement at the end of the game for the Hartford fans as well. I mean, Harry Watlin's got to be happy to looking like he's going to take something out of this game, where at one point it was not looking that way at all.
That will do it. 1-1. It was intense. It was hotly contested. And in the end, the team split the points.
Good end to the game, though.
Both teams will have questions at the end of this game, and we've got an entire season to answer them. 1-1 at opening night at Dillon Stadium. We'll be back to wrap this up. What a contest in Hartford tonight. We're glad you were able to join us for opening night at Dillon Stadium. He's Lloyd Sam, I'm Spencer Siegel, and let's take a look at just how we got to our 1-1 conclusion. First half didn't provide a lot. There were a few chances, but the goal finally came, the breakthrough for Pittsburgh. It was Russell Cicerone.
Great finish, as we've said. He opens up his body and very deliberate about putting that right in the corner. This is a technical player right there.
First goal for Cicerone, the former St. Louis FC member. And then in the second half, things started to pick up. Hartford were trying to turn the screw on several occasions. they just weren't able to get anything going. This is really a microcosm of the whole first 40 minutes of the half.
That's how bad it was.
And then, after a red card issued to Canardo Forbes, Danny Vitiello, who hadn't been tested much all night with crosses like these, had one sneak by. It was a pseudo corner kick flicked on by Luca Perpa, sent in by Danny Barrera, 1-1.
And the crowd goes wild. Crowd goes wild.
Vitiello was looking for it, but that was all he could get. Let's take a look at our stats from this one. 1-1 the final score. The shots didn't come as often in the second half. The possession, about what you would expect for a game that looked like this. Pittsburgh had most of the possession in the first half. Hartford, once they had the one-man advantage, started to pick up more of the chances. In the end, both teams grab a point, which means Pittsburgh are now on 1 point after 2 games. Hartford now with 7 points after 3 games. That will surely make Harry Watling, the new head coach, happy. And that does it for us. For Lloyd Sam, for our entire crew, I'm Spencer Siegel. We thank you for joining us. You've got plenty of USL action to check on, including on ESPN2 right now. Tampa Bay, Phoenix, go there. See you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.